Hi, it's Angie with News OK. I'm here with Sherrel Jones, who's a food columnist for the Oklahoman. Now, we're talking cooking today, but we're talking about how to cook with water with different types of liquids in different methods.
Yes.
Tell us what we're starting with.
Well, it's probably the most basic cooking method that we use, and yet we can be intimidated by terms that say things like parboil or boil rapidly, or what does that mean? Simmer.
Right.
And so all of the cooking in liquid requires sort of a judgment on the part of the cook as to when something is ready. And you can check something. I just did these potatoes, for instance, and I put them in a little bit of water, and about a ½ inch, in an appropriate size pan for these, and they've almost already cooked all the way through. And by appropriate size pan, I mean that the pan fits what I'm cooking.
Sure.
I wouldn't want to put these in a pan that's much larger, like this size pan, just this amount of potatoes. And these would be ready to cool and use as a potato salad. I like to use enough water that they're done by the time the water evaporates. And that's usually about a ½ inch in the bottom of the pan.
That is great.
I don't like the idea of having to carry a large pot of boiling water across the kitchen or over the sink or something like that. I think
that's very true.
Plus, the energy required to heat more water takes more time. So steaming is done with a tiny amount of water, and these potatoes use both you might say these potatoes on the top were never submerged. So they steam, and the ones in the bottom sort of boil in the water partway, but they're not all the way submerged in water. And usually to boil means to submerge in water. But in light of the fact we're trying to save energy in our kitchen and be green in our thinking, you can use a very tiny amount of water to cook potatoes. And I think they actually end up with more flavor. You just have to keep an eye on it.
There we go.
So,
there we go. And tell us what else. There's obviously boiling eggs and all kinds of things that you can boil. What's next?
Absolutely. Another thing that we do this time of year when we have something really fresh from an Oklahoma garden, like these beans, which I found at the Oklahoma City farmers market this morning.
Those are wonderful.
And these were picked out of someone's garden this morning, so they're very fresh. I just popped the little tops. And I just need a few. So this is a steamer, but we're going to use it. It's a versatile steamer. We're going to take the steaming basket out. And then when the water comes to almost a boil, and of course that's going to happen better if the lid is on it. Some people like to put salt in the water ahead of time.
I've heard of that.
And I don't usually do that because we're trying to be very low salt in our house. To boil usually means to submerge something completely in water. So we're going to partially boil these, and at that point, when they turn sort of bright in color, and I love these purple ones, but they'll change color when we cook them. Is you can freeze them, and if you have a lot of green beans in the garden, you might want to do that. And so 3 to 5 minutes is all it takes to get them where they brighten up, and then immediately you want to put them in a water bath. And this is starting to simmer, so we're going to put just enough beans in the water to let it start boiling and submerge them. And I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on so they'll cook a little faster, and then we'll take a look at those in a couple of minutes and see what they've done, and pull them out and submerge them in our ice water. So that'll be great.
And what's after that?
Well, some vegetables are better steamed than boiled. Now we'll take our carrots and just put them in the top of this steamer. This is my favorite steamer. Hasn't started to steam yet, but on the carrots here, it's probably not going to make much difference. These will take a little bit longer to steam. And let me show you inside what that looks like. And remember, but these will brighten up in color when they're steamed a little bit, which would be really nice. And
very pretty.
Now I want you to see the green beans.
Yay.
Now these have been boiled, partially cooked. So we say parboiled. Partially. You see how bright they are? And look, the purple ones turned.
They sure did.
If you can see that, they turned color.
They sure did.
One thing I can do, I can hold the lid and pour part of this in the sink since it's not much water.
Okay.
But I don't particularly like to do that.
Okay.
It works if I have a colander, and then I just pour that through.
There you go.
Like this, and there's my beans. Well, they're all steaming and they're continuing to cook, but we don't really, can you see how pretty they are? They're really brightened up.
Very nice.
So now I'm going to take them and just drop them in the colander down inside the ice water, and I mean it stops the cooking instantly.
Now what's next? What are we going to check on?
Let's talk a little bit about steaming. We put our carrots onto steam, and as I told you, this is my favorite steamer. And while these are steaming, let's look at some other ways that we can do steaming. One thing that you can do is to take, if you have a little metal colander and enough room in a pan, you could literally, this would sit in the pan, fill the pan with water about this high, and then put your vegetables to be steamed in here. Like peas or snow peas or something like that would be great. And this is the most non-fat way to cook our vegetables. And I think steaming tends to make a lot of vegetables like snow peas or in a sort of a crisp finish to it. Broccoli is wonderful steamed. And the other nice thing about it, broccoli doesn't lose its nutrients. I love to microwave broccoli, but it loses some of its nutrient value by doing that.
I have heard that. So, and this is just cute. So you can use this, put it in a pan.
Yeah, it's just right for berries for breakfast, or you can steam in it. Now, if you have a nice size strainer, you know, you can use that inside a pan as well. Just drop it underneath the lid with a little water in, and you can cover the top. Not if you have potatoes in it right now, but that works too if you're just needing to cook for just one person. And let me show you a few other things that are used for steaming while our carrots are cooking.
All right, now you have some interesting looking
items to cook
steamers,
steamers
or whatever you might call them.
This is kind of fascinating to me. Now, the Chinese have been steaming things for centuries, or probably thousands of years. And I think this is very ingenious. They came up with a steamer that goes over the wok, and so if you had literally used the same wok for cooking that you would for stir fry, you would use it for steaming.
This is amazing.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this is it has 2 layers, and you can find these. They're used all the time today, even, and they steam everything from the little dumplings that are filled with meat or vegetables to various kinds of vegetables, and then you can just do layer after layer.
How cool!
Which is really handy. Yes. Very really light, and a little bulky for storage in the kitchen.
There we go.
But it still works, and I suppose you could even keep something warm if you had a stir fry in here and you had everything turned low. I could do something.
And
like
now this one I'm familiar with. My mom used to be.
Yes, I call this the pedal steamer, and that may be the. It's just I'm a flower lover, and so it reminds me of a little flower opening. It does. But that has a unique side benefit because it fits a variety of pans. You could put this in a skillet, completely spread out, or a small size skillet, or you could have it in a small saucepan, a tiny saucepan. And this is another great steamer. And this one is designed to cook asparagus. And there are a large variety of these models out there. Some of them are not as convenient as others. The first one that I had very large grid in the bottom, and so if I was cooking small asparagus, it kept falling through. The handy thing about this is the little basket lifts out, and you've got the asparagus done. I like to use it just like this for boiling summer corn.
This one is interesting looking. Tell me what you use this for.
I suppose you could steam in it. You could line up stuff on the rack. And I like to say I married my husband because he had a set of copper pans.
Nice.
And I'm not sure I knew all about fish poaching at the time. But this is to poach a whole fish in. It has a little rack, inside, and of course you put the water or the wine in there. But the rack, and then poaching, light boiling, means that you submerge totally in the water.
Who would have thought there were so many different ways to steam and poach and all that?
So summertime, I guess, is a good time to get steaming.
It is. Okay, I guess we should check on the others.
Yes.
All right, so we're back over here. We're checking on the carrots.
Check on our carrots. Now, something I want to caution you about. When you open a pan, of course, we all want to see what's inside and the progress that it's made. But what we don't want to do is end up burning our arm. This area of your arm is very vulnerable to that. So you want to use a pot holder or something. If you have one of those mitts, those are great too. But open the thing, for heaven's sakes, don't lean over. Then open it up like this so that your face gets a blast of the hot steam. It's steamy enough in the summer in Oklahoma without scalding yourself with steam.
Good point.
So open the pan away from you like this, and that works great. Then you can take a look at what's inside, and we have our beautiful carrots from an Oklahoma garden.
Oh, those look beautiful.
Now, this is my idea of a steamy Oklahoma summer.
Sure, there you go. Well, they look wonderful enough to eat. So
and they smell.
Allow these to cool?
Can you enjoy that fragrance?
I know.
It smells so fresh. And I don't even think they need anything on them.
Right. So you allow them to cool, and then they're ready to eat.
Well, you can serve them just like this.
I love it. I love it. So, well, thank you so much. For more on Sherrel's column, check out the different ways how to boil, how to steam, how to poach, all kinds of different things. She has all kinds of tips in the Oklahoman in the food section. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Angie.